welcome back to the Professional Guide to Grounded. In this video, it's going to be a bit shorter. I'm going to mostly cover stuff regarding the pond, the enemies there, and getting the underwater gear that you need to do the pond lab. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is that we are going to make some bombs. Now, I believe the minimum that you need to make in order to pass the game is, I believe, 6. We're going to make 7 because we are also going to go get the pinch whacker, which is a pretty good weapon to have early on. So we're going to make 7 Bratbursts, that's what they call the bombs. We're going to make 7 of them, which means we need ant eggs. We're going to get those last though, so first I'm going to go and show you how to get the fungal growth. And I would still make 7 because there are a few places, a few chests, a few labs where you'll find more. So you can just make 7, and then I believe going through the game you'll get about 5 more that you can use wherever you want to get milk molars and explore other areas. But we are going to go get the infected, well, the fungal growth, and we get that from killing infected bugs. Now, the best way to do that is to come to this rock. Otherwise you'll have to go into the haze and deal with all that. You can see him down there.
Would you look at that?
So the best part, or the best place to find them is up on this rock early on. So you won't need your gas mask to come up here. This is safely above the haze, but you'll still find infected bugs. And they pretty much have the same attacks, with a few exceptions. Let's take care of the ladybug. Okay, yeah, the ladybug is probably the biggest exception. Because they are a completely ranged enemy. Definitely want to be careful of that. What are they weak to? Busting and fresh. We don't have anything fresh. Ooh, okay. So it kind of sucks. There's nothing to perfect block, but they do have that. They have that one melee attack.
Better than starving, I think.
Yeah, so the best way to fight the ladybug is to stay back when they do their explosive attack, and then get up close and hit them with your status effects. Now these guys are also ranged. Only when you get close do they do the might attack. And that's it. The effect they put on you, explosive resists. It reduces, I believe it's specifically explosive damage. They have a little more health too. But you get the normal parts along with just fungal growth from killing the infected variants.
He's got allergies.
And there is a scabby up here too. Now we have 5 pieces. I really need more. Yeah, definitely. Well, in that case, then, you can don your gas mask and head out into this area behind and kill some more. I would try to get these guys from range, because they're just really annoying. I'll show you what happens.
Looks dangerous.
Well, unless you insta-kill them, but, can I? Thank you. Let's try it. Yeah, and so you drop, didn't even damage him, you just drop what you have. Again, all the infected bugs have the same attacks as the regular variants, except they're just explosive as well. Hey. You gonna do it? He will do it. You're gonna die. Yeah, right. So that's the only difference, is that he can do that and he'll do it several times to explode. I suppose now that we've touched on every infected bug except one, we should just finish up and seek that one out. It is the infected weevil. That's great. Okay. You know what? As long as we're down here, I'll at least go through this canyon here in the back, because it's probably the most out of the way area in the haze. Save some time on the next video. Because there is a milk molar in a lot of these canyons. They have at least one. Now, you want to be careful of these, that kind of undulating glob there, because it will explode when you get close to it. You can break it. I thought I heard a larva. There is a mega milk molar here. Yeah. You'll find quite a bit of upgrade stuff in the canyons too, so they're definitely worth checking out. Along with dead bugs and feathers, as I mentioned last video. I believe that is it. Now the way out is climbing on this plant up here. Try to get to the other side. There. Try to find that weevil.
Taking a look.
I hear it. Oh. There it is.
New one for the beast.
These guys will just blow themselves up. That's easy. There's another mixer back here.
Please don't move, and look straight ahead. I promise you won't feel a thing.
It's a go for molecular reduction. Spacer is primed.
Where you are going, all your worries will seem so small.
Nightmare? No, a vision. And I remember every bit of it. An ominous logo and a fancy spacer. A spacer that was pointed directly at me. This changes everything. Maybe BURG.L will understand what's going on.
So you will start getting flashbacks when you sleep about what happened to you, and you can go and ask BURG.L about them and get a few more answers to what's going on, how you got here, and all that stuff. Oh, guess there's a scabby in here. And some raw science. I guess I haven't really been around a whole lot.
Holding raw science in my hands. What does it even mean?
Alright, so yes, the ant eggs are fresh in the morning, and they'll be closer to hatching around night. So it's definitely best to go get the ant eggs that you need for the bombs right away in the morning, because then you'll have plenty of time to look for more if you don't have enough. Now, we're going to make 7 Bratbursts. And that should be all that we need. But now, we're going to head over here to get the pinch whacker. And this is one of a very few weapons that you cannot craft. There's only one, and you have to find it. The duper machine changed that a little bit, and that you can duplicate those weapons, and other people can still have it. But there used to be, you could strictly only one. It's not too hard to get. We are going to head over to the area. I should change that sometime. Over here. Kind of by the this wooden barrier by the oak tree. I am going to make a quick pit stop in the oak tree, just to show where the duper machine is, even though I won't be using it. It's right here. And when you go to use it, you can select an item, and it will tell you how much it will cost to duplicate. And this is what the extra duper discs are for, is that I can't upgrade this stuff yet because it costs more raw science than my limit, which is 1,000. So the way I like to come to the area is passing by the area here with the flower bed by the pond. It's just the safest way, otherwise you're going through this area, which has tons of stink bugs around it. We've just around this field station, there's 3. I think I ran into another one around here once. It's just bad. This is a much safer way to go. all you're going to run into here are the spiders. Now, there's a milk molar here, but you're going to want to kill the spider that's guarding it. There we go. That's how you take on two at once. That's what getting accustomed to perfect blocking will get you. And this is also the last spawn point to get bombardier beetles at. Because there's two
Nature's lollipops.
around here, I believe. Yeah, there's one, and the other one is right there. There's nothing in that milk carton. I'm not sure why. That'd be a great place to hide it. Alright, so I should probably point out what you're going to be aiming for. It is that crack there. So you're going to have to build to it. It doesn't actually take that long. There's plenty of grass over there, and just one of the husky weed over behind the wooden barrier is more than enough. But I usually alternate. I do floor, then a thing of stairs, fiddle. There we go. And then another floor. Just keep doing that until you reach that crack up there. Alright. So now that you're in here, this is where you need the first bomb. So you're going to have to break open this door. So, I'll take this, put it here, and luckily it doesn't go off as soon as you put it in your hand. I would put it right on this thing and hide back here, so you can take damage from it. And then I would also immediately take it out of your hotbar, so you don't accidentally set off another one. And now in this trash can, you're going to find the pinch whacker. And this is a weapon that has an area of effect on the finale of your combo. So on the last shot of your combo, it will kind of explode with this electrical burst. And there are a few items that you can get later on to make that go off more often. There's a mutation for it, and there is also a trinket that you can find. And having both of those on at the same time, you can basically make it go off almost all the time. And I mainly use it for, I used to think it was like the greatest thing in the game back when I was too afraid to try it for anything, like any better weapons, because I thought it was too hard to get. But in late game, it kind of starts to lose its power, but it's really good when you're swarmed because of the area of effect. It does damage on everything near you. And in here is going to be a trinket, the berry charm. Basically, what that does is, it adds an effect to the rotten weapons, like the rotten ant club, the rotten larva blade that we found. But I never use those, so I never use this, but it's here if you want it. And no, you can't pick those up. Alright, now, there's only really two things that we need to make to get ready for the pod. And that is the gill tube, so we can breathe for longer, and the fin flops, so we can swim faster. So I always like to enter the pond carefully, because there are many bad things, but there is a koi fish that you cannot hurt, you cannot fight, but it will insta-kill you.
Mark that one off the list.
So I would just come in on this ledge and be very careful. Always make sure you know where it is. Always make sure that it's not around you first. So first, of course, let's go deal with some of these. The tadpoles are passive. They can they give you meat, and that's it. I actually don't think the koi fish spawns until you do the lab. I'm not entirely certain, but I wouldn't take any chances. I should also mention you can only use daggers or spears underwater. You can block, but it's a bit harder with the timing. There is a bone trident that you can make, but I've never actually really used it. But yeah, so the only thing that the tadpoles are used for is food. You can roast and hang, dry out the meat like with any other. Here is some algae that you can get. I'm not quite sure what you can use it for, so I never really use it for anything. That is a diving bell spider. We'll get to one of those in a second. Just need to check to see what I need to make these. So, the lily pad wax is the thing that you get from the underside of the lily pads. There it is. Looks like this. An important thing I should mention about the water and about your air supply is that you won't start taking damage once you run out of air. You'll just die. So don't think that it'll be like Minecraft and once you run out of air you'll start taking damage. No, you die. You just drown. Okay. So eelgrass is this stuff down here, and you can cut it with any dagger. And you can even you get plenty of chunks from it, so it shouldn't be hard to get the 6 that we need. There we go. Deal with him in a second. I need air. Also going to try to head over to the thing over here. This is the water boatman. Again, they're passive. They don't give food. The thing that they give you are the fins that we need. I believe they only ever give you 1, so we need to kill 4 of them. I should also mention that killing bugs under the water will replenish your air as well. Alright. Let's show off the diving bell spiders. Oh, so, that was just kind of luck. Their attacks are kind of hard to block. I promise they are. I guess I never actually paid attention before. I've always had trouble blocking their attacks. Maybe it's not that bad. They will follow me to the surface. But they're not hard to fight at all, because they're a water bug. So they don't have a whole lot of health. I might see a hatch there. That won't unlock until we're done with the pond lab. And there's no point going there till later anyway. There is one last... There it is, the water flea. They are aggressive, but they're really no threat at all unless they're in huge swarms. I'll show you why. That's their only attack, and it does such little damage to you. Okay, apparently that did not replenish my air.
Aw, that guy's got allergies.
Up here is just another field station. If you watched my playthrough with Jackson, you'll recognize that this is where we built Fort Weevil. And there's some raw signs around that you can get to. Now, I believe this, I'll touch on this real quick. The decoy bait, I believe, is for the fish. You can make this and use it to kind of keep the koi fish away from you. I've never really used it. I suppose it would be useful, but I've never actually tried it. Now we can take the chance to ask BURG.L about our dream.
Hello there! How can I help you? I'm afraid Dr. Tully did not program me for dream analysis, but I will do my best. Was it perhaps about electric beef? I have always wanted to have that dream. Why don't you describe your dream for me? Aha! That confirms it! There are 2 spacers, just as Dr. Tully surmised. One in the yard and one at Eminent. He had a hunch that they continued his work on the spacer after he stopped working for them. It all computes. I do not believe these are just dreams. These are surely your memories. But perhaps they only return to you as dreams. So Eminent shrunk you, and now you are here. I am pretty sure you are not an Eminent secret agent. I was JKing. That was a test. You passed. So if you are not an Eminent agent, why would they be shrinking children? Surely I have no idea. Yet another puzzle for us to solve. On the plus side, your memories must be slowly returning. If you have another dream, please come again.
Alright, I'm going to actually pick a fight with the wolf spider just to demonstrate the pinch whacker. So before, just randomly go off, but they recently changed it so that it only goes off on the 3rd hit. Because you would already get some times where it would go off 2 or 3 times in a row. I should say, if you're doing multiplayer on medium or low mode, where there is friendly fire, that explosion of electricity will hurt the people around you. So that's another way that it's a bit impractical at times, but it's still good for the early game. It's still good for when we go to the termite mound. You want to have it with you because you might still get you will get swarmed. All right, so now we are able to gill tube and the fin flops. I believe the gill tube. I believe that when you don't have it, you have 40 seconds of air, and with the gill tube, you have 80 seconds. And there is another one, I'm not sure if we've unlocked it, called the bubble helmet. There it is. The bubble helmet. This will increase your air to, I believe, I want to say 160. It's in the hundreds. You get, I think, like 2.5 whole minutes of air with that. Alright, so I've come over to this area over here. there are some, just, I guess, areas of interest. I don't really explore. Can't quite remember if there's anything. Excuse me, I'm in the water.
Air raid.
I can't quite remember if there's anything really of note, but I figured as long as the fish isn't here, I'll take a look at it. I will keep an eye out. I don't believe there's anything under this frisbee here. I believe the biggest thing of note is this here. Yeah. This is the entrance into the depths, which is just kind of the, I don't know, it's a big kind of underwater cavern that connects with where the pond lab is. I'm just not sure if there's really anything of note in it. I know there is a milk molar that I was never able to find. The only thing that the map that I looked up said that it was behind a log, but I never really find where that was. Is it here? Is this the log? It is! Well, I found it. Alright. I really don't think there's anything else of note around here. We're kind of getting around to where the lab is. Is there something under this flower pot? Just a lot of raw science, really. There's the dome. Okay. Is there anything special about the white room? No. Just the lights around the dome. Well, I guess for that one, well, I guess there's another milk molar that we can get now that we got the pond stuff, the underwater stuff. It's around this area. There is a tunnel down here. It's an underwater tunnel. I'll cheat and turn the gamma up again. And now we actually have the means to get in here. Wrong tunnel, I guess. Ah, it's over here. sure which direction this is, but I'm going. Oh, alright. Scabby. Alright. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, boy. Whew. That is not an easy trip. That is a trip that is best served for the bubble helmet. Alright, so now that we have 5, we can max out our mutations, and now we can start working on this stuff and just kind of get it as high as you can. Here. Ha ha ha! You can peep the koi fish. There we go. Well, now we gotta be careful. We gotta play this smart. Yeah, we gotta be over here more by the juice box. I'm gonna find a crack that I can slip down so I can see where it is. Peek my head out. Alright, I'm gonna go for it. Alright, so you're gonna come down this way. You're gonna see there's a hole here with a little toy T-Rex in it. You're going to come down here. There is a spear here if you want it. You can get air from here. You're kind of within the attack range of the koi fish, so be careful. Come on, come on, come on, hurry up. Give me air, give me air, give me air. Alright. Now this is where you're going to get sunken bones and koi scales. I would take 5 koi scales because you need it to finish the game. You need 5 of them. And there's just a bone to analyze if you want.
Science! A scientific breakthrough.
So luckily, you don't get koi scales off the actual fish. You don't have to like get up close to it. I should mention an important thing. It is blind on its left side. Its left eye is missing. Come on, give it to me. Come on. My only hope. Alright, I have 3. You know, I'm sure I'll actually find more in the lab. I'm sure you get stuff for it, or you get it in chests. So up here, if you come along this wall here, you should find another molar. I'm gonna head back for air after this too. So now we're going to go and use these water jets to help us along. And we're going to make straight for that lab tunnel. Get as much speed as we can. There is an air pocket in here. We need to wait to open a door for it. We should have enough time. We should have plenty of time. Okay, we're good. Alright, here. A slime lantern. Take this out. Put it here so it's not automatically in my hand. Wasting. Like, yeah. So there we go. There's the 5 that we need. Oh boy. I'll take that stuff. Alright, so before we do any of this, you might have missed it, there is a chest down in kind of by where the turbines were, the jets. And the key is right around here, so I'm going to go and grab that real quick because there is a milk molar and another auxiliary chip there. So the key is right down here in this little cavern. Just keep going. Ignore the spiders. You can actually kill a spider. Get your air back, I believe. Yep, there you go. I believe there's also a. Yeah, there is. But right in here is your Mossy key. So then we're going to head up. And we're going to get back in our air pocket. And then we're going to go open that chest. You know what? Actually, there was another area we can open that's a little closer to the chest. So I'm going to progress this just a little bit so we'll have an easier time.
Each member of the Tully family, excepting yours truly, looks at Brussels sprouts, the great cabbage of Belgium, with utter disdain. Within its densely packed leaves, a high-powered nutrient boost in a miniature form factor. And yet mealtime after mealtime, it is recklessly cast aside. Well, more for me. The body knows when it's lacking something. Funny that it doesn't tell the mind why, though. But I have taken the hint, and I'll do those brilliant horticulturalists of Belgium one better. You see, these little morsels are a prime candidate for experimentation in my new submersible multifunction lab. A closed-loop system complete with retractable solar dome. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Dr. Tully, it is almost time for your appointment.
Already? The joys of getting older. Trudy pushed me to go see a doctor after she remarked that I looked like a plate of wet ham. Very well. Mustn't be late and keep Dr. Applebaum waiting.
Alright, so that's kind of what he was doing here. I'll deal with this guy first. This is an archer. He is ranged. He also does that if you get too close, so make sure you stand back. He does that. And it'll bounce around for a bit, but they're weak to muscle, so your hammer should take care of them just fine. But yeah, so that's kind of what this lab was about, is he was growing a sort of genetic hybrid Brussels sprout. And I suppose that's what the dome was for, because that's where you eventually find them. But for now, what we need to do to activate the hatches is we need to get the power going. And so that's what these are, the hams. The hams test. And of course, like, you can feel free to pause and read all this if you want. So I'll just take a little time to scroll through it, so you got time to pause if you want. That's just a workbench. Oh. I honestly don't think I'll need this much. So now, what we need to do is we need to go, there's 3 of them, so first, I can't go off that way. So, first one is right over here. We can hit 2 at once, the third one is a bit farther away. So, the first one is here, just go open, flip it. The second one is over here, behind all these roots. There's a spider here, but don't mind him. He will mind you, though. That, no, I got it right, yeah. And this is the area that connects to the depths that we were just in. So like this hole, there's a huge, just dark chasm in this area, underwater cave area. But I've never really explored it. I'm not quite sure how much stuff is in it. I don't think there's a whole lot. I think I went through it in like a creative mode once. But our next thing is to get in here. So it's a bit of a long trek, but yeah, the rest of the depths is back this way. You gotta be fast about this, because you just have enough time to get in, get out, and get back. And there are a few things. I saw there was a scabby. I believe there's a milk molar in there too. I'll take a few trips. But now there is a door that should be open. And now I'm hurrying. My weevil's underwater. I didn't think that could happen. Alright. So now... oh, he's just standing underwater. But now there is... this area up here is now open to get air from. That's what I was waiting for in order to grab that chest. But first I'm going to go back to that other lab part. Like, up that way. Around here is the rest of the depths. So first I saw a scabby over here. Over the body. Rummage in that. Grab the scabby. So, that was... what did I say? That was a toxicologist? Yeah. That's frigid dive. Okay, so that's why the scabby was called frostbite. So yeah, he was spying on the Brussels sprout variant that Wendell's making. I should not like to have another run-in with the giant koi fish. So what pictures did you take? Oh, that is just the castle. That's just Castle Moldork, over here where the final boss is. Interesting, okay. I believe there is a milk molar in there. I believe in the back corner here. Yep. It's 2 sets. Well, I had 20 seconds to spare last time. Getting back, quick check, nothing else. Okay, let's go. Alright, now we're gonna head back and get that chest. Just be careful, stay behind or stay underneath the. Should eat something real quick. They're all soggy, but that's fine. Just stay under the water jets so they don't push you back. So we're gonna have another milk molar in here, and get it. The Sunken Outpost chip. Alright. What does this do? Gas resist? Poison? Okay. It's not a whole lot of good stuff. Again, the compliance badge is the only one that I use.
The nose.
So, where does this go? Yeah, I kind of get a little confused because since there's 4 doors, that is just a shortcut. What was in here? Ah. Alright. I know one of these doors is completely useless. It opens up into an immediate dead end. Alright. I've never actually looked at these before. I didn't think that they would be relevant to kind of understanding what he was trying to do. Yeah, so he's making mussel sprouts. Which if you see on this thing, it's like Brussels sprouts made out of muscle tissue. Nothing here that I'm not seeing.
Get stronger if I ate these mussel sprouts.
You wouldn't? You would actually kind of get poisoned, I believe. I've never tried it, but I was just told that it's not a good idea. Alright, so where does this go? I still kind of forget. Okay, that's locked. So we can only go this way. Down here, that, okay, over this way. There will be, yeah, I know about you. Is there anything down here? Oh, a secret area. Let me kill you. Secret area. Scabby. Nice. Okay. Now, go this way. Okay, we're on this side.
Dr. Applebaum has pronounced me in perfect health. For a man 20 years my senior. I must face the facts. The gray hairs, the wrinkles, they are not figments of the imagination. I can draw only one reasonable conclusion. It is the elusive fractional errors of the shrinking process which are the cause. Trudy has asked that I discontinue my experiments, but what choice do I have? If I quit now, I will have nothing. What will I be other than a failed inventor and scientist with no discoveries to his name, unable even to teach the basics of physics to a gaggle of hormonal teenagers? No! If this means that I must sacrifice 20 years of my life, then so be it.
So there we go. Oh, hello.
Bye, Spy.
So now we kind of learn one of the biggest side effects to the shrinking is the thing that he will dub raisin, which is all the wrinkling, the almost accelerated aging that he's suffering, mainly the wrinkling and how his skin is just shriveling up and drying out. And you can see that from these pictures that we keep finding of him on the tables. We see how he's slowly kind of not looking good. Alright. So this must be the useless door, right? Yeah. Absolutely nothing in here. Alright. There we go. Alright. Here we go.
Science!
Sometimes there can be stuff sitting on the shelves. So that's why the wedding ring is in there. I didn't realize he wrote an entire poem here. Something I never paid much attention to, the way he words this makes me think that she threw it in the pond, instead of just lost it. Let's grab these first. Ah, well, of course she threw it in the pond. This one's called Fight with Trudy.
to be able to build something like this.
Is the fish ominously looming over us?
This time you've gone too far,
Ah, these are the
Tully.
mussel sprouts.
You've
Dang,
done the
okay. We need these. These are very important. These are vital to making the health potions.
unthinkable, trespassed the unforgivable. You missed Thanksgiving dinner. Who can blame Trudy? I know that I pushed things to the breaking point and that she has grit her teeth and borne it. She told me that she could not bear to watch me destroy my life, let alone hers, the children's, in single-minded pursuit of this technology. Never in all the years of knowing her has she given me such a cold, immovable ultimatum. My science or my family. But if only she could see. I am doing this for them. I understand it has been hard. It has been harder on no one more than myself. If only I had more time. If I could just prove to them the wonders that are so close now, they would understand, wouldn't they? And if they did not, perhaps they never understood me at all.
Why is my scroller not working? I can't. This isn't good. I can't. There we go. Interesting how that wasn't working. Okay, now this is a little scary to pop your head up. You don't know where the fish is. But okay, so we're not going to go there. We're not going to go into either of those two that open because we need something else for it first.
Hello there, acting science manager BURG.L. How can I help you today? Ah, well, hand it over and Mud, I knew I could count on you. Please hold while I update my files. Here we go. Processing. Processing. Woo! Better than ever. My diagnostic module is now restored. Analysis shows the spacer suffered a catastrophic failure in the embiggening cell. The embiggening cell stores and regulates interatomic energy transfer during the spacing expansion phase of the spacer. Put simply, it controls the rate of growth of the subject and prevents overexpansion, which can be quite messy. Yes. If the subject's rate of growth is not precisely regulated, overexpansion will cause bioorganic subjects, such as yourself, to pop like a gremlin in a microwave.
Nice reference. I never went with this option before.
Scientifically speaking, of course. There is both good news and the bad news. Which would you like to have first? All natural flavoring is not, strictly speaking, natural. Now you know. The good news is that I have a spare cell here. The bad news, it is empty. The cell must be filled with a special mixture. A cocktail, if you will. Another breakthrough invention by Dr. Tully. Hold please while I push the recipe for the embiggening cocktail to your scabby. Processing. Processing. Error. Missing directory. The directory you attempted to copy does not exist. Boo-doo-doo. Boo-doo-doo. Cheese and fries. It appears the formula for the embiggening cocktail is not in my memory. It must be on one of the remaining super chips. We will need that recipe in order to fill the embiggening cell and send you home. I am sorry. It seems like the forces of nature are trying to keep you in this yard, but I believe you are here for a reason. Hold on to the empty cell for me, and when you feel ready, retrieve another super chip to see if we can piece this puzzle together. Thank you.
Alright, so now what have we unlocked? We got 2 chips that we gave him. First, upgrade our pellet. Now, what can we get from this?
I could really use some good grilling right
How
about
much stuff
now.
that we actually really need. I mean, you can get, this is probably the best one that you could get if you want. It's basically a sticky bomb. This and the fin flaps if you're ever going to do any more diving. I'm not. We're done with all the water stuff that we'll need to do. Now, as you can see, never mind, it's not here because he doesn't have the recipe. Eventually, the recipe for the embiggening cell will show up here. I was going to bring that up, but I guess not. So that's going to end it for this video. Kind of a short one. I'm kind of organizing them with one lab at a time. Seems to be good. Next one's probably going to be pretty short too. We're just going to do the 3rd floor of the base, and then we're going to do the haze lab. We're going to that's kind of where I personally start thinking we're in kind of mid-game. If I had to divide it up, I'd say we're in about mid-game now. We're out of early game. Things are going to get a little harder. We're going to need a little more complex stuff. But it shouldn't be too bad. There's not a whole lot to do, but we are going to do the 3rd floor of the base, which I'm going to show off the garden patches, which we're going to absolutely need for the potions, and then the haze lab. That's literally the only 3 things we're going to do next time.